I am really excited to have this conversation with you today. Let's just jump right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey with bone health and what inspired you to start doing this work?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not, you wouldn't think that, somebody who was diagnosed in their early 30s is happening all the time. And I would even back up, for me, my personal health journey started when I was a lot younger. When my mother was 5 months pregnant with me, my father was told he had cancer. And 2 months after I was born, he passed away. He was 35. And my entire life, I had this fear that I was going to follow in his footsteps to an early grave and not have the opportunity to grow, watch my kids grow up and experience the joys of being a father. And I was diagnosed with osteoporosis at 31 when I was still struggling with all these different health issues. And I thought my fate was going to be the same. I had a young daughter. I had a son on the way. I was devastated. And I remember the day the doctor sat down with me and confirmed I had osteoporosis, not just a letter in the mail, like actually sat down with me. And her exact words were, "This is going to be an issue for you. Bone drugs and fracture were my future." And I walked out of that office afraid. And for the people who know me well, they know I'm not typically the most emotional person. Okay. And there are very few things that strike fear into my heart, but that did. And I got home that night. I was laying on the couch across from my wife. My daughter was upstairs sleeping. And I looked up and I saw my favorite picture of her on the wall. And she was a little over 1 year old, wearing this cute polka dot dress, standing in front of a white picket fence, blonde hair, blue eyes, innocent and sweet as could be. And I just broke down crying. And I cried hard. It was the kind of cry that empties the sum of life's burdens. And after I was done, I looked over at my wife and I just said, "I just want to dance with my daughter on her wedding day." She needed her daddy. And I questioned at that point whether I'd even be alive to be there for her. And for those first couple of days and weeks, I just kept thinking, why is this happening to me? This doesn't make sense. How is this possible? Is this my fault? What will my life be like moving forward? How will my life change? Am I the only person my age going through this? I was angry. I was upset. I was overwhelmed. And I had no idea where to get started. But I started. And I had to do a great deal of reading and research and investment and consulting with people and doctors. And my mindset eventually started to shift. And, eventually I got to the point where I was actually making progress and improvement. And along the way, I realized just how challenging it can be for the average person. And it's mostly not the average person in their 30s. It's mostly the average woman in their 50s, 60s, 70s, just how challenging it can be to get the right information to move forward confidently, to figure out what they need to be doing to address bone loss, build bone strength, and prevent fracture. Because the prescription for 90% of women who are diagnosed is calcium, vitamin D, walking, and a bone drug. And that's woefully inadequate. And it's for that reason that I started Bone Coach and bonecoach.com.